down the hammer and pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the Savvy Landlord as your host.
Savvy investors, man, this is my favorite part of doing the Savvy Radio Show is I get to know people in the real estate world, where they came from, and it's always random how I meet people. And some people, they don't want to be on the radio, which I think is whack. And then there's some people that I've never met before, out of nowhere. I maybe brushed elbows with you at a RIA, maybe?
Once, yeah.
Maybe once. I kind of remember you. And then I randomly get a text message about a house on the east side, which is I predominantly buy a lot of houses in the hood of good. And, anyway, I'm super excited today to introduce Tyler Weinrich, a wholesale connoisseur, just 7 months already in the game, has done 15 plus deals. Extremely fascinating. He's almost like a mysterious person to me because I don't know him. And then I found out that he had a real estate license. Wow. And then he's wholesaling, because that's real weird that there's people with real estate license are uneducated. No offense to the realtors out there, but usually it's the other way around, like wholesaler because they don't want their real estate license, or they have a real estate license and they can't make money, so they become wholesalers, which is they kind of manipulate the system. But I can't wait for folks to hear how you became a realtor. You're not even a realtor, you're just a very savvy. This dude, Tyler Weinrich, is super savvy, and I'm so excited to just to get to a guy that's just kind of fumbled through success, and I think you're killing it. But that's just me. Well, welcome to the show, homie.
Thanks, good to be here.
Yeah, right on. So, all right, let's just get right out. We talked about the real estate license, and so tell me how you got, where you came from. You've been in Oklahoma for what, since you were third grade?
Yeah.
And you recently relatively married, right?
Yeah, 2013.
2013, so not too long. So you're still a newlywed in my world. And how in the world did you stumble on real estate?
Well, I was working for a software company here in Oklahoma City called Alamode, and they're sort of like an internet marketing company for real estate agents and brokers. So
right.
Unknowingly, I was already kind of immersed in the world of real estate. I knew how appraisers worked. I knew how lenders worked. I knew how the relationship between mortgage lenders and appraisers and real estate agents worked. I knew all of that. And then a couple years ago, my wife and I were trying to think of ways we could supplement our retirement, and threw out some random ideas. She threw out real estate. It was her idea. I'll give her credit. So we,
whoop, whoop.
Yeah. So we started reading some books. We read 5 or 6 books over the next couple weeks. And
do you remember what those books were?
I think a couple of them were some of the Gary Keller books.
Yes, Millionaire Investor.
Yeah.
Right on. That's one of my top favorite books. All right, so let me get this straight. Earlier I asked you, because usually people that work in software companies are educated, they're detailed, they're gifted, I think, because I was going to take that train of life. I was going to be a computer. I know Pascal, but does nothing for me. But I asked you, do you have a degree? And you said, yeah, it's zoology. So tell me how you got a zoology degree and you work for like one of the top software companies in Oklahoma. Tell me that.
Okay. So when I got out of high school, I wanted to go into medical school and be a doctor. So jumped into college, went down to OU in Norman.
Okay.
Started that track, which...
Just like regular MD?
Yeah.
Like general practice, like if I got a broken knee, you're going to help me?
I wanted to be an anesthesiologist, actually.
Oh, right. The guy next door to us is an anesthesiologist.
Oh, really?
Just rented the office. Yeah. Cool.
That was always kind of cool. Just the
putting people down.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. As close as
That's cool. All right. So you wanted to be a doctor. Was that like a childhood dream?
No, not really. It was. I just liked the lifestyle that they had.
Yeah, money.
It was demanding. It was, it kind of kept you on your toes all the time.
Sure. And it's a prestigious job.
Yeah. And had some friends that were thinking about going the same path, so it was kind of a group
And
decision.
OU is a common thing for Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Okay. So you went down there, pursued that, and then medical zoology, is that possible?
Yeah, because you take all these like life science classes,
right.
Biology, microbiology.
Right. My wife did all that jazz.
Yeah, and by the time you finish taking all the classes you need for medical school, you're, a few hours away from getting
So you got your undergrad in zoology.
Yeah.
Planning on going maybe further, or it's just like so it's a step to, all right, so zoology.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're hot and ready to go to be a doctor, and you got an undergrad in zoology, which is kind of cool. Like, to me, I'm thinking you're going to work at the zoo, but a la mode. Engineer, like computer programming, computers and philosophy and technology. How in the world did you get there?
So after I got my degree, I was still kind of applying to get into medical school, and
not easy.
Yeah, not easy. No, I had tried it a few times, didn't get in. So in the period, I had to find a job, and I don't know why. I'd never done a sales job in my life, but just wanted to try sales. Thought there was something about it, like I just got to try this before.
I love sales.
I commit. Yeah, I do now. I hated it before and while I was learning.
Well, it changed you. It grew you.
No, it did. Yeah.
I mean, you called me and said, "Hey, you want to buy a house?" I mean, it takes sales.
Oh, I was freaking terrified when I first started it.
Okay, we'll get into that. So it's just bizarre how. Okay, so you took a sales job. Like, what were you selling?
We were selling websites, email marketing tools.
And this is all through Alamode. So you took a sales job at Alamode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you were in this division of real estate, right? Is that right?
Yeah. So they have different divisions in the company. And the specific one that I was in serviced real estate agents and brokers. So I got to know firsthand.
So you had to sell real estate agents why to use Alamode as a real estate agents, man. They're not on top of my list. No offense, but
yeah,
they don't like to spend money. They don't like to work.
If I could tell you how many hours I wasted on a conversation over like $25 or $50,
Yeah, and they were like, "Can you show me again?" Yeah, a friend of mine worked at Oakmar, and he would tell me he would do a lot of training, and they're like, "What's a smartphone?" You know, I'm like, you got to learn to grow. But so you're selling services for Alamode in this business. So you worked there for 5 or 6 years, dealt with and so how'd you get your license? Did you want to get your license or?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You personally, but did your job suggest that? How'd you get your license? Tell me about that.
They were always pretty good about paying for extra education to,
I love that.
Kind of further yourself, and especially if it was in line with the company and the customers that we serviced. And so getting my real estate license, I brought it up to them, and I knew.
Could you pay for this?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I knew it would be something that I could use on the side, and that's something that also, would benefit them because I would be closer to the customers that we were selling to.
So the whole time you're to me, you seem like a thinker that's thinking ahead of the time. So your dream was to be a MD, so you get a zoology. You're thinking for the future. So then you're like, hey, I can't get into medical school right now. I could probably try harder. I could probably move. So you decide to stay. So then you're like, hey, I'm going to apply for a sales job to stretch myself in random. And it falls into real estate, which is a seed that your wife put into your head, kind of, right?
Yeah.
And so then you're like, I don't know if I'm going to do this sales job forever. I might as well learn another trade. I mean, kind of logically, it seems like a progression. So then you get your real estate license, but you get someone else to pay for it. So that was your savvy move right there. You're getting paid to get your license. Okay, so now you're selling fun real estate agents. I don't want to beat them up all day, but now you're a real estate agent. Then what? Then so everything's cruising along. You're working there. How many years did you work at this job?
I worked there for 5 years, I think.
So 5 years, you got your license, you're getting paid, you're like dabbling, learning a lot about real estate, and then what happens? You get fired or something?
Yeah. So
yeah, all casual. Yeah. By the way, I got fired.
No. The company just kind of went through a hard time. They had to make some layoffs, and I was one of the ones that got cut.
Was it like a pink slip?
A pink slip?
Like, how did you get fired? Like, so Mr. Wenrick, you suck, you're out. Like, how did they fire you?
It was just a really depressing morning. I think they let go like 15 people that morning, and
wow.
We all kind of knew it's an open office. Like, there's no cubicles, so it's all open atmosphere. So everyone kind of knew what was going on.
Did you know what was going to happen before? Like, was it sprung upon you?
It was sprung.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were just like, okay, but you're a future thinker, which is like me. You have a vision.
Yeah.
And so you're preparing for this moment one day. I mean, I guess in your mind, like, you're always kind of preparing. You got a family. So interesting. So they just walked up to you and said, did they offer you any kind of, what is that called?
Severance package?
Yeah, something.
Yeah, but might as well have not
been worth anything.
Yeah.
So like, it was your boss? Like, tell me more. I'm fascinated how people get fired. Like, because I've been fired. You know, you're fat, get out. You know, eat a cheeseburger when I worked at McDonald's. But how, like, were they sad? They were like, what was their excuse? Like, hey, the CEO got an extra bonus this year, and you're not worth it, so we're going to clip you. I mean, seriously, like, it's a high culture of weirdness. Like, what would they say, if you can remember? And this is back in December. This is during Christmas.
Yeah, this is last year. Yeah.
So this is 7 months ago. You get clipped, and what'd they say?
Well, for me, they just brought me in the HR lady's office, and my boss sat me down and just said, "Hey."
So this dude didn't even fire you.
No, it was. So yeah, he came and got me, and I kind of knew what was going on because I was like the fifth or sixth person to.
Okay, so someone else, you kind of got wind of this.
So I saw people, just disappearing from the office, and
almost like a movie. Like Jesus came back. Shucks.
He came up behind me, and I was working, and he just tapped me on the shoulder, and I was like,
and you knew right then.
I looked at him, I was like,
and he looked at you.
I'm getting fired, and he had this little smile on his face, like, yeah.
But not like a sinister, like
not necessarily.
Like I understand,
sinister,
I have some compassion.
Like, yeah.
What a putz.
So
I'm all about like, look, I'm sorry, but here's some ideas.
Yeah.
So they drug you down to HR, so you sit in front of a girl, and she start crying.
She was sad because by now she's been doing this. She got her coffee, and she's been firing people all day.
Yeah. And you've been there for 5 years.
Yeah.
So everybody knew you. You knew everybody in the building. How many employees were there? Do you know?
They kind of fluctuate between probably like 170 and 225.
Wow.
It's a decent sized company.
Yeah. it's just crazy to feel. But I'm reading a book right now about like when you get slapped in the face, you get rock bottom. It's kind of motivating in a roundabout way.
It was. I was pissed off. I was angry. I was sad. But
what was the first thing that come to your mind? Like when the chick was like, your mind was racing. Can you remember, like, was it money? Was it, do I have enough? Can I find a job? Like, what was going through your mind?
Yeah. It was a little bit of all that. Mainly, so I had this work computer.
Like, you want to get a sledgehammer?
Totally broke the rules. I was using it for personal use also. It was an awesome little laptop. And so I had started doing wholesaling on the side and had all my mailers on there, my lists, all of that. And so my first thought was, crap, I need to get that computer. So
did they take it?
Yeah, they wouldn't let me have it. I tried to negotiate with them. I almost had them.
He was like, listen, this is my future. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So now you're really angry. Not only that you lost your job, but you just poured your whole life into this side computer.
Yeah, no, I have a lot. of like, I need everything on that. And they let me get a flash drive and pull stuff off of it.
Oh, they're cool. My laptop got stolen once. It changed my life. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Like, it literally, like, I thought the world ended. Like, thought my leg got cut off. I'm not. I know this is extreme. People think I'm retarded or whatever. I don't want to say the word GAY or anything. Like, I seriously, I was devastated for a week. Because my whole heart was in that deal.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's going through your mind. Like, you said, you were angry. Like, were you angry at the system? Angry at why me? Like, what why were you angry? Like, what was it towards? What was your focus of that anger?
Yeah, I was angry. I was angry at the company for
letting you down.
Letting me down. Yeah, just how we got in that situation where we had to fire people. How
how'd this happen?
How did we get here? Why did we get here? What could have been done differently? There was kind of some rocky times before then that we were going through. So I was kind of mad at myself for maybe not jumping ship earlier and just thinking about
preparing.
myself.
Well, you did the wholesale thing on the side.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so all right, this is not an awesome story, but it's awesome that you're here and barely knowing you. So during that process, you were wholesaling, like you were preparing to wholesale. What sparked that interest? Doing the side hustle, which is what I love when you said it. I asked you earlier off the air radio. I was like, "So how'd you get wholesale?" I was doing a side hustle. I was like, "Yeah, what's the side hustle? Tell me about that side hustle." What motivated you to get the side hustle? Was it like a new TV? Like, why were you starting to dabble in real estate?
Well, so my wife,
your wife,
yeah, she threw out that idea of real estate, which initially got us into rental properties. We thought, this is how you get rich, rental properties. Got to get million of them.
That's what they say.
So we went out and bought one.
Oh, rental property?
Yeah.
While you're at Alamode?
Yeah.
No wonder you would start crying. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pay for 2 houses.
Yeah.
So you went out and bought a freaking rent house?
Uh-huh.
Because you're badass real estate agent.
Oh yeah, we read a few
And you talk to
books.
these idiots all day.
Yeah.
So I could do this.
Yeah, we went out shopping.
Cool.
Bought
Your
around
wife is bomb.
Bought around a house in Yukon. Standard 20% down type deal.
Sure.
It was rent ready to go.
Was it a deal?
No.
Yeah, you know now. It's normal. I know. I kind of like watch people's face was a deal, but you got in. Even if you pay $20,000 more, it doesn't matter. You're in the game. You're going to make that 20 grand back, no doubt.
Yeah, no, it cash flows really well. It's never had any issues with it. It's
Cool.
It's in Yukon, so
I love
value,
it.
I mean, the value is going to go up and up.
So, like, have you had any influences in your life? Like your parents, are they encouraging? Like you're somewhat entrepreneurial, kind of, and then you just freaking pulled the trigger on a real estate property because of the books that you read, and you just said, "Have you been like that your whole life?" You just
No.
how did you? There's someone out there that's listening to this radio show, whatever the frick it is, and is in your position. How did you do that?
I mean, when I was little, and not little is even in high school and college, I was just one of the most shy, introverted people.
Yeah, I could tell that earlier when I met you.
I wouldn't risk, and I'm still kind of like that, but I wouldn't take any risks, wouldn't do anything, and just over time, just
Play safe.
Yeah, just gradually kind of changed. Things like getting fired and seeing other people
be successful.
Even people that and you grew up with do kind of the same thing, and just it spurs you just to say, "Screw it, let me do this."
Right. What's the worst? Does it come across your mind? Like I say, what's the worst thing that happen? I lose money. I mean, I go bankrupt. I mean, I'd rather be on the other side of the fence than wondering and wishing. All right. So you get clipped. So you're sitting Christmas time, which is just crazy why they clipped you then. They could have waited. So then what happens after that? So you were doing the hustle or the side hustle of the wholesaling. What perked your interest on that? How did you get involved with that? Like, because real estate agents don't talk about wholesaling. They think it's taboo. They think it's sinful. They think it's illegal, which it's not. But they think that way. So I know you didn't get that from your day job. Where'd you get the bug for wholesaling?
Having to write that 20% down check on that rental property.
True.
That we sat back and we looked at our finances and thought
and it was all gone.
Well, this is going to take a lot longer than we thought. How can we get houses at a discount so we don't have to do that? And that kind of led me to Bigger Pockets and a few other websites and podcasts, and figured out what wholesaling was, and I was like, this is it.
Right on. So your goal as a wholesaler is to buy assets, right? So you want to own rental property because you want to become financially free.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So that's your main drive. Okay, so it wasn't just, it's always been kind of a vision, always been a kind of a direction. I can tell that with just talking to you for a short amount of time. This is my goal. These things lead to these things. Yep. All right, cool. So that's a great story. So that was just December, 7 months ago. Your life crumbled for a short amount of time. You picked up the pieces, and your wife, God, she's got to be supportive. Does she have a day job?
Yeah, she works at Chesapeake.
Okay, so she had some kind of income. So then you're like, went through murder. Chesapeake went through murder. God, you guys need counseling. Drama on the left, drama on the right. So then you get into wholesaling, and so you're moving down the line, and then boom, we meet. And so let's just talk about that deal. That's why we're here. Okay, so one day you first of all, what I liked about you, okay, I know this is super, and when I say GIY fat folks out there, not fags, it's not to be derogatory between homosexuals or lesbians and pride. I don't care what the freak you are. This is just an old school term that I use, and I should stop using it, so I do apologize if I offend you. But here's a weird thing, I think. I don't know how to express this, but so I get a text message random from you. And I'm like, who is this Tyler guy? Never heard of your name, never seen you, really. I kind of recognize you. And you sent me a link to an Evernote note. And I'm like, who uses Evernote? Only the skilled folks use Evernote, for real. I mean, every time I try to teach people Evernote, I try to love on people, use Evernote. You can run an empire in them. People try it, it's too hard, they don't do it. And you're like using it like it's candy. You sent me this text with a link with all the photos. I was like, wow, this guy, where did he come from? How did he even know Evernote? So then I was like, okay, so I was looking at this deal, and you gave me this deal for $12,000, right? And you were very upfront, and I can tell I was trying to beat you up on like where'd you come up with this, and you were very cautious and patient. You're like, and I was just trying to feel you out. I was like, 12,000 was a reasonable price. I mean, for a house, a structure, 3-bedroom.
Yeah.
So it was definitely, and he was kind of in the hood. It's in the hood because I have a house right around the corner. But I was like, okay, 12,000 is not too bad, right? So it's worth at least to go look at it. And when I looked at it, I got to show you the finishing photos. Oh, I got my budget too. I got my budget pulled up. I'm going to show you the budget too. Cause like I will do it while we're talking. So I'm like, well, how'd you come up with 12,000? And so what was going through your mind when I was like, I kind of, what did I say? I kind of hit you back with, no way. How'd you come up with 12,000? And I'm assuming like when I was negotiating with you that you had it under contract for 10. Or maybe even 8.
Yeah.
So I went and looked at the place, and it needed a roof, and it was murder. And what's the address?
I don't know if I remember.
Do you remember?
Northeast
21st?
21st, I think.
Okay, so I'm going to pull up this budget. So what was going through your mind? You showed me the property, and then I was like, no, that's not going to work. What was your vibe? This is the east side. It's actually 2216 Northeast 21st. Okay. And so I went in there, looked at it, and I was like, there's no way. And do you remember what I offered you? It was like 6,000.
I think it was, yeah.
And we come to find out you were up front. I think you had it under contract for 4.
Yeah.
Okay. And I was like, this is not going to work. So I went over there and I took pictures, and it was interesting to negotiate with you. Because I was like, bro, the roof is 5,000. This is that. And you were like, some people use that as a technique to be. I was being genuine. I was like, this is what it is. So, I mean, in your mind, why'd you lower the price from 12,000 to 6,000? What were you thinking? And I don't want to spill the beans, but tell me what you were thinking on your side.
Well, so that was the first house I think I had on the east side. So
your last?
Yeah, no. I work over there a lot.
Okay.
I like it over there.
Okay.
But yeah, I just pulled up some comps, I think, of some other wholesale deals, and they were
24,000, 20?
10 to 12.
Well, final price.
Oh, for final price.
Yeah, like we're rent ready. 20, 25.
Those are in 25 to maybe 30.
You're right.
Around there.
Okay, so that's how you came up with the 12,000.
Yeah, so I just figured, screw it, let me throw it out there and see what happens.
Okay, nobody was jumping but me.
No, yeah.
Everybody was.
Well, I couldn't even find anyone just to look at it.
Okay, so I was a sucker.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll get to the. First of all, there's a little bit more information in there we're going to tell you. So, no one else looked at the property. I was the only one.
There was one other guy, I think, that looked at it.
Who was it?
I couldn't remember his name.
Sure, I don't want to know. So, I don't want to know. So, okay, the interesting thing. So, we went back and forth, and I ran my big mouth, and I'm like, hey, this is a $15,000 my budget. Let me tell you what I spent on this mother effer.
Okay.
And this is an effer because I overspent. I spent $8,605 on labor. Oh my God. I spent materials $19,315, and I'm not sure if this even has my roof in it. Which, come to find out, the roof was in such disarray that I had to redeck it and redo a bunch of madness. I got a roof built for $6,000, and I'm still negotiating with that because the guy was off on the squares. Because I had another roofer go. I've had drama on this property. I went back, and the guy sent me a $6,000 bill. I'm like, hell no. Redecked should be like $5,000. It's really, when I quoted you, I was like $4,000. So no, I got a $6,000. I'm probably going to pay $5,000 at the end of the day. Yeah. So then my total, my purchase price closing, my all in as of today is $33,983, and I'm missing something, my heat and air. So I'm going to have almost $38,000 in there. What an idiot I am. But I look at it, I'm going to get $700 a month. It's bulletproof, brand new windows. Everything's completely brand new. I can't wait to show it to you. I don't say this. Only reason why this is one of my last deals that I'm going to do like this. Yeah. I thought it was a great negotiating. Like, I wanted to buy it. I thought about $10,000, and I probably would have given $10,000 And I'm so thankful that you gave it to me for $6. And I'm glad that you made a couple grand. But man, I'm scared because look what I got in it.
Yeah. I didn't think it would be that much.
But again, I didn't micromanage it. I know there's probably $3,000 or $4,000 just stolen in there. Okay. But the great thing about the thing, I don't know, I did get a $25,000 loan on it, no money down. So I'm a little over. But that's not the whole gist of the story, why I brought this up, not to make myself look good as an idiot. And so just so you know, you need to budget well and really stick to your guns. And the wholesaler out there, they're not out there to get all the money. They know a real wholesaler, and I know, Tyler, you're this, that there has to be meat on the bones, because we had a couple of text messages based on this, that I've got to make money and you got to make money. We got to make this work.
Yeah, I think we went back and forth a few times, and as soon as you sent me back, it was like 3 text messages as long of all the repairs you're going to do, the cost. I was like, okay, like this isn't just a...
Yeah, I'm not trying to jerk you around.
He's legit. He knows what he's going to say.
And I know the area. What I liked about it was actually all the houses around there. It's just sad because just on the corner, the house was just shot up, and I just sold that house to another investor. I took a loss on it to buy your house, but that's all good and gravy. But I think that the most intriguing thing and why I have been hunting you down, A, because I think it's fascinating that you're a wholesaler. 2, we've already done 2 deals together. 3, we died together at the closing table. We'll talk about that, and we won't say any names on the closing table. But the thing that really impressed me about you is that how did you find this seller? And I'm just fascinated. You don't have to tell me your marketing secrets, but you got the guy. You had to drive the guy. Let me get this straight. You hustled this deal. You found this deal. You got it under contract for $4,000. Then you convinced this guy to get the key, but there was no key because it wasn't locked. Any idiot can get in there because it was such in disarray. And you picked the guy up, drived him to closing, and there was liens and stuff on the property too, right?
Yeah.
In Texas.
Yeah.
So let's tell me. All right. So I laid it all out for you. How'd you get this deal?
So I forget what type of marketing piece this guy got. Just a letter, and he called me and said, "Hey, I got this house. I need to sell it. It's in bad shape. My I think his brother-in-law was living there or something. He just moved out. You want to buy it?" And I was like, "Sure."
So you drive over there.
So like, yeah, when can I go see it? He's like, "Well, my car doesn't work, but I live right around the corner. So if you want to come pick me up, I can take you over there."
And this is your first time?
Yeah.
So this is your first East Side Hood Rat house, and the guy propositions you. Yeah. Like a hitchhiker or stripper on the side, said, "Hey, come pick me up."
Yeah.
So what went through your mind there?
I was like, I kind of paused on the phone a little bit.
Okay.
Sure.
I mean, he sounded like an older gentleman.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He was an older guy, so I was,
you can't do too much damage to your Honda CRV out there.
Yeah. So I went, I picked him up. We drove over to the house, talked to the whole way over there, just bullshitted about politics, the house. He told me a little bit more about the house and the history and family, and went over there. The house was in really bad shape. Door was just unlocked, but
it's been kicked in, lived miracle, in, peed on.
By miracle, no one had busted in and just the place was pretty trash, but
it's trashed.
Yeah. So we looked at the house and took some pictures, and then driving back, started talking to him about how much he wanted for it.
Yeah. What did he say? What was the number?
He threw out. I think he threw out like 2,000.
Wow.
Or it's like 2,000 or 3,000, I think. And I was.
So, your mind as a real estate guy, working with real estate agents that throw down $300,000 houses, buy and sell. You see the data, and this guy comes out and says 2,000. What in the world went through your mind? Okay.
Immediately, I was like, yes, but then I was like, wait, this is East Side. I don't know this area. Like, I don't know how much this is worth.
But how can you go wrong for $2,000?
I know he owes back taxes on it. Like, how's that going to work? And so I didn't take it, which is lesson learned. I should have just said yes and signed it right there. And
okay, so that's a good lesson.
It took me another 2 months of calling this guy. I had to go to his house because he wouldn't answer his phone to get him,
to sign the doc.
To jump back on it. And eventually,
keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, eventually, after a couple months of trying to follow up with this guy, I go over to his house. We sit down. We sign the contract. Same price. Nothing changed.
Okay. Did you have an exit strategy in your mind? Like, what would happen to this? Like my mind, I bought a house for $5,000. What could go wrong? I have a house for $5,000. Did you think that you would have to close it?
Yeah.
And you've owned a rental property, but you still were kind of wounded from your healing from your loss of your job.
Yeah, no, I was gonna close on it. My only worry was what the heck was it? Like, who was gonna buy it for how much?
And then you're
after
stuck
that.
with this deal.
Yeah.
So that's what's kind of scary on the east side. Like, it's so cheap, but what am I gonna do if I can't sell it? Taxes, insurance, lawn care.
Yeah, because some of these houses, I mean, the ARV in them might be $30,000, $33,000.
I think the ARV on that thing. Oh, my accountant here emailed me. Market value $20,000. Yeah, I mean, I'm over 13,000, but it's okay. So you went and signed a contract, and that was it. And then you took pictures. We saw it, and you closed the deal. And what'd you net on that thing? About $2,000?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Congratulations. So that's how we met each other through that transition, which I thought you were wonderful to work with. You were very communicative and upfront. And so then we bopped another deal.
Billy Muncie.
This guy, dude, racist stuff the wazoo. How, same thing, direct marketing, some sort, called you off a letter, off a sign or something, normal wholesale stuff. All right, we let the cat out of the bag. So that was a very interesting deal because I came up with one number, which I actually kind of overpaid a little bit on that deal. But you locked that. Okay, so I bought the house for, this is a very weird negotiating tactic that I did on you on this one. I was like, this is the one number with closing, all in. I'm writing one check for $51,000. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
But you had it listed for $55,000.
I think so.
Okay, and would you get that house under contract for?
That was, what, 45?
45, but the dude had a bunch of liens on it.
He had some back taxes, yeah.
And so, how was that for you in that transaction? You tell me your side. Like, was that easy? I mean, I know that guy was very difficult to work with. I mean, he was very hard to communicate with. It was very rare that he had a debt-free house. Did you know that when you were negotiating with this guy?
Yeah, no, he told me.
He could have lied.
Yeah, he got, well, yeah.
Yeah, what did he say?
He got some trust money somehow. Him and his aunt and I guess brother or sister or something. They somehow got some trust money. I think it's from a family business or something.
Okay, so he got
and
he bought it for $75,000 or some crazy money.
Yeah, yeah.
He bought the property for $75,000.
Yeah.
Because I think I saw that on the county. Because when you threw the $55,000, I was like, wow, $20,000 reduction. Is this a short sale? But no, when you were telling me that this, I figured it was debt free anyway. So how'd you get that guy down? When he called you, what was the price? Do you remember?
He was in the 50s, I think. We went back and forth a lot. He had a friend that was going to give him $49,000 and a Chevy truck.
Okay.
And apparently that Chevy truck was worth like $12,000. So he was trying to get me to
70 or 60
yeah.
or 40, 60.
So we went back and forth. I told him, look, this is what I can do. You know, if you got your friend, go try it with him.
That's how I roll.
He tried it with him, didn't work.
Of course not.
Came back to me, and we worked out.
Like, how long was this process?
That was probably about a month.
So it was a pretty fast transaction.
Yeah.
So you went over there, took the photos, which you took great photos. Everything was genuine. I thought you did a great due diligence, which is great as a wholesaler out there. Tip number 55. Freaking prep the stuff, take his best of the ugly photos, of the good photos. You did great market analysis. You had comps. I mean, it was a package deal. Rent ready. The guy was moving out, which was a very interesting guy. So what'd you think of my negotiating on that? Because it was a pressure, right? He had to close quickly.
He had to close real quick. So he was coming up against a tax sale on his house.
Oh, that's right. It was 3 years behind.
Yeah.
And June 15th was the number.
Yeah. And he didn't have money. He just got in a car wreck and got a ticket from the cops. I don't even think he had a license. Like, the dude, he was just in a bad spot.
Yeah, he was just a different type of person.
Yeah, yeah.
So did you try to solicit that to anybody else? I think you had it at the RIA. Did you bring it out? Well, how did you market to anybody else?
Yeah, I think I put it up on Facebook and sent it out to a couple other guys. Rockford was one.
Did anyone else go see it?
Yeah, 2 or 3 people went.
And they all passed? Why do I always get the crumbs? I don't get it. Like, I'm like the cleanup guy.
They were all mid-40s on it.
On their offer.
Yeah.
So I way over. I know it's worth like $80,000. So hey, before people start dogging me that I'm overpay or like I'm not the savvy, I am savvy.
Yeah, and I mean it didn't need a lot of work, right?
No, and that's the main reason why I bought it. It's 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 2-car garage. It was in Middale School area. Mm-hmm. It's that was on the edge, and so I knew the area. I know I can rent it out for $950. We just got done painting it. So $950, 51 was I was like closing costs. 51 was my whole, like 50 is what I want to pay, but you kind of beat me up for 51. And it wasn't really beat me up, but I realized when I looked at the taxes and I figured, so what'd you make on that deal? Like 3,000, 4,000?
Like 3. Yeah.
3,000. Okay. So, hey, so now you're on fire. This was within 6 weeks? We did these 2 transactions.
Yeah.
All right. So is this why you like wholesaling? Has it been worth it? Been fun? Where is this going? And tell me about it. Tell me where your side of things.
Yeah, it's been really fun. There's just so much to learn in it, from talking to sellers, talking to buyers, getting a hold of buyers, negotiating, looking at properties. There's just so much to it. Everything's.
And you enjoy it. So you're a statistical guy. You worked obviously at a high data company. I know you've only been doing this for 7 months, but 15 transactions. Do you have a general idea how much money you've made so far?
I've passed my income on my job.
So like 40, 50,000?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you don't have to give me details and just round. So over, 50,000, 7 months. Would that be accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you're a statistical guy. I'm assuming, right? You like data. I mean, because I can tell when you send me your emails, I actually I enjoy them because you're like, you got data. I'm like, are these real numbers? And I of course, you got trust but verify. How long does it take to, someone's thinking about getting in wholesaling? How long does it take to get this pipeline going? Do you have deals going now? Is it like a 6-month process, a 3 months? I know 7 months. Now you were working on it before. So keep in mind, guys, you can't just jump in 7 months. You're going to be make 50 grand. Obviously, he has real estate background. He understands data. Understands the comps. That's the most important thing. You got to know what it is. You got to know what you're going to sell it for, what the margins are. But my question is, is it like when you start you get a call in, and how long does that process take for you to get paid? Is it like is there an average? Have you figured that out yet? Is it like 3 months? I know this guy took 2 months. That little ghetto deal that we bought together. Do you have an idea what it takes?
Yeah, I would say probably at least 2 months. I mean,
start to finish.
Yeah. There are some people that they'll be ready to go, but if someone calls in and they want to sell right now, they know they want to sell at a discount, they're okay with that. You also have to be ready for that. You have to know your numbers, know how to get under contract, know how to move it. And
wholesaler. You have to wholesale and you got to have buyers.
Yeah. And you got to have buyers. So they may be ready for that, but if you're not, then it's going to take longer.
Do you tell the people up front when you purchase the property, when I wholesale, I just did a wholesale deal and, it's an Edmond home. I really wasn't going to, hey, buddy, I'm getting your house under contract for this much, for $150. I'm going to go flip it for $175. I don't tell them that, because they get a little skimmish on me.
Yeah.
Like, wow, you're going to make 20, obviously. Do you kind of tell them up front that what's your sales pitch? I need the key. I need to show it. How'd you get Billy to do it? The ghetto crib was easy, but what'd you tell Billy to open the door so I can come in and look at it? And you showed it to Rockford and you showed it to a couple other investors.
Yeah. I've been telling people that I work with partners that fund the purchase and the rehab. And, I don't do the work myself. I know about how much it's going to cost. So, we'll put it in our contract at this price, and I need to bring some people over to double check the house, double check the repairs, take a look at it. The easiest way for me to do that is to get a key.
Right.
And most of the time, they're perfectly fine with it.
Except for the Billy guy, because he had 7 locks on the front door.
And a security
system that he stole or whatever. No, yeah. It's yeah. So how'd you convince him? Because he was a very oddball. When the only reason why I bought that place is because he was clean. Somewhat clean,
yeah,
to a degree. But what'd you say to him? Because you brought a couple other investors, so I was like the third one on the list.
Yeah, kind of the same thing. And
he was desperate, so he was motivated.
Yeah. I had some cash saved up, and I was just gonna buy that and list it.
Okay.
From him, but the price I could get him down to, was a little bit out of my range, and so I told him pretty much up front, hey, I don't have.
So you offered him 40, probably.
Yeah.
Originally, and you were just going to then flip it on there for 50 and make 10, hold it. Because he needed, that was another caveat. He needed the cash to go move to the next place because he had no money, which I pulled an old school trick. Yes, I'll close, I'll fund, but we'll pull back $5,000 in escrow.
Yeah, which was awesome.
It motivated the guy.
Yeah, he was. We gave him 30 days, and I think he was out in
26. No, it was actually 20 something days, but I slow rolled him because I was out of town and I didn't mean to be a jerk on the deal. Like I actually signed it and I forgot to scan it. And I couldn't do it at my home. I couldn't ask it anyway. So yeah, we held back escrow. I thought that was a very smooth transaction. So that's wholesaling in a nutshell with a guy that came out of nowhere, the corporate America, white collar job, hitting on the streets. And your goal is to buy assets. What's your goals right now? How many wholesale? Is it wholesale deals? Is it revenue? Are you looking to buy what goes through your mind now when you get a phone call? Do you try to look? Is this going to be for me, or?
Less focused on buying assets for myself right now, even though that's probably a bad thing to say.
That's true. I people say that. I admire your honesty.
Yeah.
Because we're buying assets, but you maybe want to bulk up, get some cash.
Yeah. Just trying to get some cash up. I have some where I can play with it. I've done a couple wholesale deals where I just bought it and threw it up on Zillow, or going to start doing some MLS stuff as well.
It's so hot right now. I mean, that's been the trend for some wholesalers.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating for me because I actually, you guys feed me and how I survive. And then all of a sudden the I guess the greater fool theory, people that are on the MLS, which is I think the fool theory, they're paying more. And I get it. You're going to make an extra $2,000 throwing it on MLS. Yeah. So I guess, or more.
Yeah.
So,
so immediate goal is just to get the wholesaling kind of built up, get that machine rolling.
Right.
And then kind of see where that takes me.
So it's been a wonderful ride. So no plans on going back to school?
No.
No MD?
No.
And just out there and doing real estate?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have a website or anything? Are you sophisticated? I mean, I know you're sophisticated in designing a website. Are you prospecting for buyers and any of that kind of jazz? You want to throw out a phone number? You got a Google Voice number or email or... I know you're shy, but
I got all of those.
Okay, yeah. Hey, I didn't know. I usually ask this question on the front end, and this seriously, guys. This interview is almost over, but this is all straight candid. I chased this guy down. I was intrigued by Tyler since I met him. I want to build a relationship with him. Like I said earlier, wholesalers provide for me, and if I can help you, I can't buy every house. Please share your website, your phone number, your email, whatever you want to share. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can reach me on my Google Voice number, which is 405-673-4901. Email tylercweinrich@gmail.com if you can figure out how to spell my last name.
I'll have your name spelled right on here. Was it awkward when I Facebooked you when we first started doing a deal? Because you were slow at responding to my Facebook.
No.
Okay.
No.
Say your phone number slowly.
405-673-4901.
All right. And spell your last name, and you're on Facebook. So if you want to Facebook them, spell it, your last name.
WEINRICH.
Or follow the link on my website on the Savvy Radio Show. Tyler, man, I really, truly appreciate your time. You're busy. I know it was taking us about almost 6 weeks to get into the studio. What advice would you give? You did the normal American fake dream. You went to school. You went to college. You had big dreams of being a doctor. You worked for a corporate company. You got clipped. How old are you?
I'll be 32 in July.
32 years old. This is where everyone starts waking up in society now. I was 27 for me, 20 years ago. So what advice, last thoughts would you give for someone that's in your at what time it kind of followed the same path that you've fallen?
I would say just don't hesitate to go out there and try something new. Give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? You can lose a little money.
Sure.
Just green paper. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I think when I was around your age, I'm only like 10 years older than you. I always say, I don't want to be 50 years old. Now it's like 70. I say this. I don't want to be 70 years old or 50 years old, and I coulda, shoulda, did this. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really realize that until I got into the corporate world and then saw what that was like and where it was going.
And have you kept up with those people? Where are they? Are they still scared? They're paycheck to paycheck like everybody in the world. And
they've had to let go a few more people since I left and moved a bunch of people around. The guys that I keep in touch with are hanging on. It's
so interesting. I'm reading this great book. You got to read it, folks. It's called 12 Pillars of Wealth. His name's Alex something, and I'll get it up there. But he goes into it's more, people say work for a company 30 years and retire, and that's a safe route. He says it's the highest risk route. Look at that. Your whole life hinged on a couple of key people, upper management, and it affect your life. and you dedicated 40 hours a week for 5 years or more, and you breathed the company, and you went to all the picnics, and what does it show for you? It's pretty crazy. I'm super proud of you. I hope your parents are proud of you. If they're not, they need to listen to this, and you need to thank your parents for they did something in your world to give you some sort of ambition of life. You could be at 32 years old. There's 32 years old people out there playing video games, dreaming of being wealthy. And I'm super stoked that in a year from now, only 7 months, in a year, you're going to have units, because I'll slap you. And you'll be hopefully one of the top wholesalers. Yeah, and maybe you should come in on our class. We got a class coming down July 21 here, Oklahoma City, Wholesaling Revealed. You might pick up a few things for sure. You could pick up some more buyers. So come check it out. Anyway, this is Steve Van Camber. This is the Savvy Radio Show. It's been a blessing. It's been fun to get to know Tyler. Get to know Tyler yourself. You need to buy a house, let him know. He's also, he'll take some funding too, some private money as well. So if you're out there and you relate to him, let him know and contact him. You can leave a comment at the Savvy Radio Show, and whatever you do, learn something, go do it, take the risk, and buy assets.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at savvyradioshow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook, and always be buying assets.